much. Okay. The app launched last July. The total cost of building it to date at that point was $60,000. It was a split between the ministry and the museum. We found funding from our own budgets, corporate grants, and then the grant itself. So, since the topic of this forum is about in-house development, I want to say my app was 50-50 split, I would call it. I sent in an RFP, so the beginning stage of setting an RFP and an RFQ out, actually a proposal, because I had to get the app grant first, so I could provide the costing. The firm we ended up going with was out in Gatineau, Quebec. His name is IdiClick or Canvases. They provided a app background that has CMS that's already built, and they would customize it for us at a certain price with support. So I was lucky enough to have 2 people from this program join my team last January. John Chu, I think he's still around here. I just saw him back there, and his colleague Kate. They were on my team, and what we did is from January, we started last January, so we had our first meeting with this firm last January. We launched 6 months later. We had 2 focus groups. I think the most important part was the focus groups, because we wanted to figure out what should we put on this app. Now, one of the questions I was provided by the programming committee for this conference asked, what was the goals? Now, first goal was to join the League of Museums that had apps. That was a more we're interested in joining that league, we want to be part of it, we don't want to miss the boat. But really, the primary reason was to meet our mandate, which is to promote and educate the work of Canadian artists. So this is one way for us to do it. Through 2 focus groups, we figured out people wanted one thing. They didn't want to see what I had in-house. All they said is, give us something I can't get by walking through your doors. We don't want to see what you have. We're not interested in that. Because I can walk in, why would I look at it that way? So what we did from that point was we realized, okay, so this app has to provide you guys some content and even virtual exhibitions that you can't get by walking through our door. They wanted a connection to our artistic director, our curators, programmers, and that's how we kind of, our second part of our app started. We had the CMS, we had a backend. We worked with the company in Ottawa, and we said, we planned it out, because it was already pre-built, it was built on a map-based system, so everything was GPS positioned, but we could turn off certain components of it. And then with the content, we just kind of looked at the fields that were provided and subbed in what we wanted. So a lot of the content production was all done in-house. We didn't have the budget to go out and have others produce it for us, so we all became videographers, photographers. We set up our own Wi-Fi system in-house to create hotspots for people to actually use the app and learn how to jailbreak modems. And that was, I think, John and I had a lot of fun doing that. When we launched the app, it was a bit of great acclaim. It was one of our summer exhibitions that we hold every 2 years. It was a Toronto exhibition. And the great part of it is that we had brought on 1 staff member to help us with the programming. And we had videos created in-house, like we edited them in-house, but we're taken to the artist studios. So we got to sit down in the studios, talk with them, look at what they do, what they produce, and that was kind of, say, augmented with what you could see in the gallery. So that gave you that little bit more than we were looking for. So today, about a year later, it'll be this June. I can tell you about the app, some of the pros and cons of now developing it in-house. If you're doing the programming in-house, make sure you have capacity in the people to do it. I'm a 1-person team with a very large portfolio, so the app kind of, the priority of the app and its content changes, because we're always adding new content, because it wasn't built for one specific exhibition. It was built to cover everything we do. So it's featuring, I was going to bring it up, our internet's not working. How many of you guys have actually downloaded the app itself? I'll make a note, it's, when we developed it, I made sure to develop it for iPhone, Android, and mobile web. That was part of the RFP that I put out. I said, I want to make sure this app is available to everyone. I didn't want to narrow it down to just an iOS user, or just an Android user. Everybody has different phones, so I don't want to narrow down my audience. That's not part of the grant. The grant was to bring culture to Ontarians, so that was the only way we could get that funding. So if you've got the app, you'll see that provides you content on what's upcoming, what our current events are. Right now it has a virtual exhibition, and we are finding artists that are working in spaces that you can't present in white walls, so we're creating a virtual space for them to present their work. That was part of our little idea of bringing back repeat visitors. If you keep changing it up, people will keep using your app. I'm notorious myself for downloading apps and then using it once, and I'm never probably using it again. It probably won't have a use. So I wanted to make sure from my own experience that people will keep using it. I don't know, how's my time? Because I can keep going, but I think I go. Okay. Just about 3 weeks ago, my app crashed. That's a little story. A lot of people don't share the cons of it. And Alex was, I think you were there that morning. I came in and I had emails saying, your app's not working. So people were able to contact us and say, try loading your app, it's not working. Your iPad app's not working, it's just sitting there spinning. So I thought, what's going on? And Alex had just uploaded a bunch of audio for us. And we had audio interviews with some artists that came in from London, England in January. So I called up my developers. I'm on a 1 year, I think we said a 1 or 2 year contract with them to provide us services to keep upgrading the app. Because as you know, we went to an iPhone 5 with bigger screens, so you need to change your app. Every time the software changes, you need to recode. I'm not a coder. I have no desire to learn. I'm more interested in graphics, layouts, communication, and strategies. The design of our app was done here in Toronto, and the layouts were changed by our creative agency, Record Cassette. They're an advertising agency here in Toronto that works with me. The background of the failure of our app, there was a bug. We didn't know about this bug through all of our testing. When we launched it, we didn't have any audio files uploaded, so we had no idea that this bug would cause our app to crash. So for 2 weeks, nobody had access. It just got launched again last week after they fixed the bug. And part of that gave us a chance to bring it back up to the new standard for the new screens, so you could view it on your new phones. So that's the downside. We develop it in-house. We have a CMS, so that means you're always constantly updating. You can't just say it costs money. We have to call somebody. If it crashes, someone's going to be responsible to fix it or find the people who fix it. I'm lucky I have a team of programmers I can send an email to and say, can you fix this, please? I don't know what's going on. When it's on multiple applications or multiple devices, right now the Android version is not working, so that's the next thing we're working on, because the bug went straight across all platforms. So it's going to take some time to fix, but if you're planning on creating an app, those are the small things you're going to run it into. So when you're planning it, if you've got the skills in-house, it's great, you can fix it quick. If you don't have the skills in-house, like at my institution where you've got the 50-50 split, you can do the content in-house, but you can't do the programming. That's where you're going to have to do some real planning, some strategizing, some scenario planning, and looking at what's your worst case scenario and what are we going to do to fix it. So that's all I really want to say about the app. I can keep going on and on about its production. I know what you guys use and enjoy it. I would rather, my main purpose is to talk about the little things behind the scene that made it a little bit difficult. If you want to learn more, you can talk to me or you can talk to John. He was on the initial team. He was there to the launch of it. And Alex, who's still a programmer here, who is here, he's at my office 2 days a week, and she's been doing a lot of work in the back end of the app herself. So